Thank you for joining on another video here. So I have an awesome guest, Jake, who's our head of optimization here at GeniusVets. Gosh, has been with GeniusVets for probably close to a decade almost now. And
Almost,
he's an
yeah.
amazing resource for us and our clients. And I'm really excited to learn a bit more, about Jake's journey and the exciting things that his department gets to do for our clients. Jake, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me, Sam. These are fun videos, so I'm excited to get to do one myself.
Yeah,
Thanks.
absolutely. And would love to really just kind of start. So I personally am familiar with your journey currently and kind of the growth that you've had through GeniusVets, but I'm personally not super familiar with your journey prior to GeniusVets. So why don't you just kind of walk me through your journey, what really led you to GeniusVets?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, after high school, I grew up in Northern California, Sacramento area, a little town called Woodland. And then I came to SDSU. So I'm in San Diego still currently, North San Diego and Oceanside. But went to SDSU, got my degree in integrated marketing communications. And one day in one of the classes there, that somebody came in and said, we have an internship at a digital marketing agency in San Diego. And I said, why not get your foot in the door? So I became an intern there. And as I was there, I found a real genuine interest in the data and analytics. It's more of a digital marketing agency where we build websites for all different types of industries, big clients, big budgets, and I really love the data and analytics side of everything. And so as I was getting more interested in that side of things, I noticed that there were large shifts in data anytime a Google algorithm update would occur. And I was fascinated by that. And so I really started to put more emphasis and more time into learning Google's algorithm and what was causing these big shifts in data, which really led me to the search engine optimization, SEO, and also the paid search PPC side of things with Google. And that's kind of how I got into the whole search engine marketing side of things. And really those things go hand in hand with data and analytics and optimization. So that's really how my journey started. As for how I came to GeniusVets, so Harley, our CEO, he actually had a digital marketing agency that merged with the company that I was working at, that I was interning for. And so he eventually became my boss. That was, gosh, 2000, I don't know, 15, something like that. 2014, maybe even 13. I don't know. Time flies. But he really took me under his wing, and he's always great with data and analytics, um, even with finances and everything. He's just amazing. So I really took to him, and he took to me and kind of mentored me. And so when we were working together, I learned a lot from him, and he actually left that position to start a little startup he had called Webertunity. And I really missed him. And then that startup that he created actually evolved into GeniusVets, because at first he was doing websites for all different industries, and then he kind of put his focus onto the vet industry. And back then, him and David Hall, another one of our co-founders here at GeniusVets, they grew up together. They were really good friends. So David Hall was actually coming into the agency back when Harley was there to teach us a little bit about SEO. Every once in a while, he would come in and give, speeches on topics about SEO. And I really loved that. I was like that annoying kid that would follow him around the office every time he came in, and ask him a million questions. When Harley left to do GeniusVets, it was probably, I don't know, 6 months to a year after they called me and said, "Hey man, would you want to come do this with us?" And I said, "Of course," dropped everything and just came. So yeah, that's kind of how I got started with GeniusVets. I think I started in 2017, so it's been 7-8 years. About the growth has been phenomenal. It's been so fun to be a part of. And it's just I wouldn't do it any other way.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it is really cool too, like pretty much across the company. I mean, we have so many employees that have such a long tenure at Genius Vets, and that's something that's very important to any business is being able to retain your employees, uh, and that's super important. And I know, especially us being remote, it is important to retain clients, but it's also important to give clients like I'm talking to a doctor right now to retain employees is super important, especially in a remote setting where you don't necessarily always have that kind of face-to-face interaction and being able to bond with fellow coworkers. But another aspect too that I would say is important for remote work is being able to take time for yourself and like some hobbies that you enjoy and really just being able to live your life a bit is important. So what are some hobbies that you like to do when you're not working, or just activities you like to do, or I guess if
Yeah.
you bring us into your personal life a little bit.
Cool. Yeah. So I actually have two young daughters. One is 5. Her name is Scarlett. Another is Jordy. We call her JoJo. She's 1. And so right now, my focus when I'm not working is them. Your whole world changes when you have kids and they kind of just become the focus, especially when they're that young. So when I'm not working, I'm usually spending time with them. We love to go exploring. We live in Southern California and there's so many great things to do and see and experience. So when I'm not working, I'm taking them to different parks, and we have Legoland passes and Sea World and the zoo, and we have e-bikes that we use to get around the coast. And we have seats on the back. Me and my wife have seats on the back for each of them. And so we just love to be outside. They love to be outside. They love the beach. So we spend a lot of time outside. And I love sports. I've always been into sports heavily. Baseball and football are the biggest two for me. Growing up in Northern California, I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, San Francisco 49ers fan. So excited for football season to start. Really looking forward to that, especially because the Giants haven't had that great of a year. One thing that comes with that is I'm a big sports memorabilia collector. I love to collect sports memorabilia. Um, I used to have an office in our house before my second daughter was born, and I had all my memorabilia all over the walls and everything. Once she was born, I had to move out of there. That became her room. I had to put it all up in the attic. Maybe one day I can bring that stuff back down and hang it all up again. But yeah, and another thing about me is I love to cook. I cook all the meals for our family, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I love cooking. I love trying new recipes. Love going out to eat to new places, especially Mexican food. Southern California is the best Mexican food outside of Mexico, probably. So I love Mexican food and trying out new places. So yeah, that's kind of what we like to do around here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that sounds perfect. Like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of slowly getting into that. So I'm a Jaguars fan. I have a lot of kind of throwback apparel, things like that. So I'm slowly kind of starting that hobby of collecting memorabilia. But I'm also engaged, so it's probably not going to stay like that for a while. But
Yeah. I don't think I've acquired anything since the kids were born. It just doesn't happen anymore. But maybe one day again.
that's probably something that's going to come like with retirement. Just kind of have like a
Yeah.
recliner in the living room. Yeah, just collecting.
I have
But
to climb up in
um,
the attic and dust those things off.
absolutely. Another aspect of being remote, like I mentioned, is not having that real kind of face-to-face interaction. So for me personally, I know what you do and kind of what your day-to-day looks like, but maybe I don't know as much. So what is like your typical day at Genius Vets, and what helps you kind of stay motivated, especially being, almost 8 years in? What kind of gets you up every day and motivated to keep, doing an amazing job.
Yeah. So I think what keeps me motivated is a few things. So the clients that we work with are just amazing. And they're so selfless to be helping animals. Um, I have a dog. I grew up with cats. I love cats. I love dogs. I just love animals in general. So just knowing that we are waking up every morning doing something good for the world and helping animals, really keeps me motivated. And also our team is fantastic. And we all rely on each other. And so, we can't can't take a day off when everybody's relying on you and you're relying on them. We want to do the best for each other. So I think those are the main things that really keep me motivated, is the team and also our clients. But a typical day for me, after dropping off the girls at school and daycare, usually heading home and jumping straight into a meeting with one of the department heads usually. The thing about a distributed team like us is we're in all different time zones all around the world. So I'm usually the last one to wake up because I'm on the West Coast. And so I'm starting my day, 3 hours later, even sometimes, 9 hours later for people that some of our team that's working across the world. And so by the time I'm up and ready to go, it's 8 o'clock for me, but people have been working half the day and they need me. And so I'm jumping into meetings right away, seeing what's going on, seeing where people need help. And then after those morning meetings for me, I'm usually into my email inbox to see if there's any fires that need to be put out. We on the optimization side, we work with all of our clients, and so there are things that happen on a day-to-day basis when you're working with hundreds of veterinary practices that things pop up and things need to be fixed, and that's what our team here in the optimization department is for. Things like I used to rank number 1 for this term, and I woke up this morning and now I'm ranking 10, and our phones aren't ringing. What's going on? Little things like this. And we're like, oh, well, let me look into that. And, oh, this is exactly why that happened. This is how we can fix it. Let's do that for you right now. And so, when you're working with that many veterinary practices, things pop up all the time that we need to jump in and fix right away. And that's what we're here for. So after I'm looking at my email, then I'm looking over clients' analytics data, right? So opening up, we have this God view that we have of all of our clients' analytics. I look through each one and see, okay, are there any anomalies, any outliers? Oh, this site had a huge increase in traffic last week. What was that all about? Let's see if we can recreate that for some of our other clients. Or maybe this one took a little bit of a dive. What's going on there? And just looking for these anomalies in the analytics and the data to see what can we do to help improve, and what can we do, what can we learn from based on all the things that are always changing in digital marketing. And then I work really closely with our client success team to help with any SEO analytics, PPC optimization questions, any issues they're experiencing. Anytime they want to learn anything about SEO or PPC, they're coming to our team, and we're teaching them so they can go help their clients. And then I also spend some time with the sales guys. The sales guys, you ask me to come into sales meetings every once in a while and talk about PPC with maybe a prospect and explain it to them and how we can help them. So really none of my days look alike. I'm pretty much always answering some sort of SEO, PPC, analytics question, but the questions range in variability. They're so different every day. That's another thing that keeps me motivated, is it's every day is different for me, and it's so fun to come and help people and putting together these puzzles of how can we help you, and why did this happen, what's going on, and how can we help you out a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at like optimization, because there are so many areas. And one question that we get asked a lot is, people don't necessarily know like PPC, Google Ads, things like that. So if you could kind of walk through, what are some benefits of Google Ads for a veterinary practice? Why is it important, or why is it a benefit to doctors and their businesses to have Google Ads running? If you could kind of walk through that and those strategies.
Yeah, of course. So Google Ads, let's just start at the beginning. So can I share my screen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'll just show you what a Google ad is real quick. Why don't we do that? And then I can kind of talk about why they're important and the use cases for them. All right, let's see. And I'll try to keep this very high level because if I'm going too deep, just say banana. All right, let's see here. Okay, so a Google ad. anytime somebody wants to find, especially a local business, usually the first thing they do is go to Google, open up Safari on their phone or on their desktop, open up a Google tab and type something like vet near me. You'll see here, back in the day, that used to be, this was the top of Google, right? This is the first organic listing. But now they have all this stuff, and the organic listing is below the fold, to use an old term. And so the first organic listing is way down here. So you have to find a way to get to the top here. And you'll see here, this says sponsored. So that means all of these here, 1, 2, 3, 4, these are all Google ads. So what this means is people are paying Google to run their ads to get them to the top of the search engine, right? So even if you're number one organically, people are still going to see a ton of stuff before they actually see your organic listing. So you have the Google ads here, the sponsored links, and then you also have the map pack. But the Google ads, how these work is you define a set of keywords that you want your ad to show for. So vet near me is what I typed in. That means Better Vet, Dutch Pet, Temple Heights, and Petco are all bidding on this same keyword. So when I say bidding, I mean they're actually saying to Google, I want to pay this per click, or I'm willing to pay this per click. And what that means is, if I say I want my ad to show for vet near me, and I'm willing to pay $10 a click, if you are willing to pay more than these guys, essentially you're going to be at the top of that listing. There are some other things that go into it, like ad quality, website quality, things like this. But what we're really doing is paying for the top spot in Google. So the thing about this is it's really beneficial for people that don't have great SEO or don't want to wait for SEO to work. This thing with SEO is trying to rank organically. You could put up the best quality content on your site today, and it might not rank for 6 months to a year. It can take a long time for SEO. So the great thing about PPC and Google Ads is you can switch it on and it works instantly. So if you're willing to pay a little bit of money to get to the top of the search results and get instantly people calling you guys or filling out a form to come into your practice, that's something that we can implement for you, or anybody really can implement overnight, and it works right away.
Perfect. Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I've personally seen kind of these sponsored typed ads, and it definitely seems like it's becoming more and more of a needed strategy as the years go on, and as Google really changes its own strategy internal. One question I would love to really finish up on, where do you see, I guess, where do you see GeniusVets kind of leading the pack, or what do you think sets us apart? Because obviously there are a lot of other marketing companies that do provide ad campaigns and management of those campaigns, but what would you say is like our kind of go-to difference that we have at GeniusVets when it comes to Google Ads?
Yeah, so a lot of companies that do run Google Ads, they come from places like the old agency that I worked for that run ads for many different types of industries. And you kind of have to learn an industry overnight when you get a new client, when you're in an agency like that, right? With GeniusVets, we run ads for hundreds of veterinary practices around the country. And so I've been here for almost 8 years, and I've been doing this the whole time. And so I know what works. I only focus on one industry now. It's the vet industry. And if I see some success with one client because of maybe this ad headline worked really good, or this feature on the website is leading to a lot of conversions or leads, that's something that we can replicate throughout all of our clients. And so really, I think what sets us apart is the experience and knowing what works in this industry and not worrying about any other industries. That's GeniusVets. Is we have the knowledge about what works in the industry. I'll give you some numbers real quick. The average cost per lead for the vet industry countrywide is $34 now in 2024. That's up from 23 or 24 last year. So cost per lead is increasing. And that really what that comes down to is more people are turning to Google Ads because organic search just isn't working as good as it used to. And I showed you, the first organic listing is way down the page. So people are noticing, hey, it's kind of becoming a pay to play type industry where if I want to show up ahead of my competition, I have to pay for it. It's just how the world works now, how Google works now. And so more and more practices are coming into Google Ads. And so you're having to pay more and more on a yearly basis to actually show up at the top. But the great thing about GeniusVets is we're keeping our cost per lead at around $5. So the industry average is 34 this year. Ours is $5. That means if you have a monthly budget of say $500 that you're throwing into Google Ads, we can get 100 people to reach out to you for that $500 on average. That's 100 additional phone calls or form submissions that you are getting just for giving Google that $500 for Google Ads, because our cost per lead is so low at that $5 range. If you are with any other company and you're paying that, closer to $30 cost per lead, you're going to get much less people reaching out to you. And it's just because they don't know the industry as well as we do. And we're able to replicate our client success for every client that wants to do Google Ads with us.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jake, for joining. I know your calendar is a very busy one at all times, so I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of just share all the knowledge that you have and have gained, from being at GeniusVets and even beyond GeniusVets. So with that being said, I'll let you get back to your crazy day. But thank you again for joining.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, Sam. It was a pleasure. And have me back anytime. These are fun. We can go, I'd love to do a deep dive Google Ads a video with you. That'd be really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll have plans because I kind of want to start highlighting services and then kind of bringing in the employees at GeniusVets that have such a big impact on those services. So I think we could get that on the calendar for sure.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Sam.